So welcome to the Node.js Technical Steering Committee meeting for January 6, 2022. We'll follow the agenda that was tagged in issue number 1145 in the repo. And before we get started, does anybody have any announcements that they'd like to share?
Yeah, there are security releases coming up next week, I believe, on the 10th for all active release nodes.
Yeah, that's on Monday. So yeah, it's a good heads up. Just add that to the minutes. I guess otherwise I'll just say Happy New Year to everybody and looking forward to working with everybody in this new year. The next section is the CPC and board meeting updates. I don't think there's anything to report from the CPC or board meeting. I guess the one thing that's maybe potentially interesting is, the planning for OpenJS is continuing, including a collaborator summit. So I think planning and scheduling for that should be being discussed soon. So anybody who's interested in the collaborator summit and wants to get involved, be on the lookout for that. And I think it's on Thursdays. There's a program committee meeting, and so that's a good place to get involved if you want to help to plan and make that happen. But I think we'll bring more specific details around the collaborator summit and what we might plan for Node to here and to other places in the project. Okay, so let's move on to the issues tagged in the repo. The first one is managing feature requests 41113. Actually, we discussed that last time, and I took the action to write up a proposal for how we manage PR to propose some text around how we manage feature requests. I haven't done that yet, so I don't think there's anything to discuss this week. The next one is 40718, clarification around real world risks and use cases for the VM module. Let's see who opened and put that one on the agenda. I think it was Mateo who added to the agenda. And we have had some discussions back and forth on it in previous meetings. I think we left it on the agenda just to see what kind of, so so I can see there was a note, the last note on there is from a discussion we had in the last meeting. And so I think we should skip that again, unless anybody has something they want to add. We should probably skip that one until next time when Mateo is around, who can add a bit more context. Okay, the next one is rename default branch from master to main. That one, I don't know of any updates. I know there's a few, we're down to like 5 or 6 repos that we need to finish off before doing the main repos. They're starting to be some of the trickier ones, so taking a little bit longer. But I don't have any updates on that unless anybody else does. Sweet. Okay, well then the next one is number 1141, which is nominating Darshan to the TSC, and welcome Darshan for coming to the first meeting. I'm just opening that. I think we have lots of +1s there. I'll just have to go check back on our governance on how we close on that, but look forward to having you join, Darshan, and collaborate with all the rest of the TSC members here.
Thanks.
Okay. The next one is invite TSC members in the Google Calendar for meetings. That's 1133. I know Mary opened that one and was going to take a look at it. So I'll just take a look to see if there's any updates since I don't see any update on that one. So I think we'll have to wait until we have Mary to see if there's any updates there. Okay, the next one, and I see I got somebody to promote here. The next one is 1104, which is vote on primordials. One has been a long discussion, and I think I'm just looking at the bottom there to see. I think we're still in point of discussing what the vote would look like. I don't know if anybody else has any updates or discussion that they want to add to that. I don't know, Antoine, if you've been pretty active there, if you've had anything in terms of what next. Are we still just waiting to figure out what the questions will be or something else?
Yeah, I think that's yes, that's about it. Yeah, I guess it's waiting on someone to make the vote happen, maybe.
Okay. Do we have do you think we have actual questions laid out? So I see you had, go ahead, sorry.
I've suggested something, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it's the consensus to follow my suggestions.
Okay. Yeah, I see a little bit of discussion, clarify. Okay, so hopefully we're getting closer with your suggestions, but yeah, a little bit more work there, and then we need to actually start the vote. Anything anybody wants to add on that one before we move on to the next one? Okay, the next one was add security triage to core repo governance, MD and or charter. I think that one is kind of, Rich has been working on ramping up the triage team. And this was just on the agenda as a reminder, but I don't know that there's anything specific to discuss this week on that one. Okay, and then the last one, adding Jasnell to security triage. I think this is just on the agenda because as we've written up our governance, it's part of what we need to do in terms of having a heads up. I see, a number of +1s on the issue, which is 647. All right, so it includes TSC approval. So I guess the real ask would be there for any TSC members who haven't already +1 that to go in there and add your +1.
Is there a definition for what it means for TSC to approve, James?
We have different approaches. So in some cases, the governance is very specific that it actually needs to be a vote. In a lot of cases, it's more consensus seeking. So it's as long as people aren't objecting and, some TSC members are approving, then that's good enough. So it's one of those cases where if I'm proposing something, I always like as many positive confirmations as possible, but technically by the governance, likely, it's good enough already.
Yeah, I imagine especially now that it's been, I guess this is the first meeting that it's been raised in, so.
Yeah, it's on the, there's an issue in the repo that's discoverable. If we have it on the agenda, then, people have had a chance to know about it. And, so it's kind of the no objections part makes you want to say okay, have we done enough to reasonably say, yeah, anybody who would have had an objection could have had it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think, the ask is if you can, and I think though likely it's just going to proceed, in the next little while, unless somebody says, hey, and I don't think there will be, of course, in this case, but if anybody had a concern. Okay, that takes us to the end of the list of things that were on the agenda. At this point, I will flip over to the strategic initiatives and take a quick look where we are there. Okay, so just looking at the list, I think the only one that we have one of the champions here for is Core Promise API. So I don't know if there's any update, Antoine, on that one.
No updates.
Okay. Okay, so that takes us to the end of the regular agenda. I don't know, is there anything else that people would like to discuss or chat about this week? I guess if not, if people can stick around for a short private session, that would be great. And thanks for everybody who's taken the time to watch on the YouTube stream.